Some missing persons cases begin with alarm. Others begin with silence. A door left unlocked. Lights still on. A routine day that simply never continued. This is the case of Denise Holly Dorfman, a missing person last seen in San Francisco, California, on February 9, 1980. More than 4 decades later, Denise's disappearance remains an unsolved cold case, one marked not by violence witnessed in public, but by absence, the kind of absence that settles slowly then never leaves. Denise was 28 years old. She was a student and an employee at the University of San Francisco. She was known as an artist, a pianist, and a dancer, someone deeply involved in creative discipline and structured routines. And then, one Saturday evening, she vanished. No confirmed sightings. No verified contact, no answers. What remains is a timeline built from what didn't happen, missed obligations, unanswered expectations, and a single phone call that may or may not have come from Denise herself. This is not a case about spectacle. It is a case about uncertainty. And it is one that still depends on awareness. Welcome to Fatal Secrets of True Crime. Please like, comment, and subscribe. When a person disappears, public records tend to flatten their life into statistics. But Denise Dorfman was more than a description on a missing persons poster. She was born on December 28, 1951, and by 1980 she was actively shaping her future. She studied and worked at the University of San Francisco, balancing academic responsibilities with employment, a schedule that requires commitment, planning, and consistency. Those who knew Denise described her as artistic and disciplined. She played piano at a concert level. She danced. These were not casual interests. They were pursuits that require years of structure and dedication. That context matters. People who live structured lives typically leave patterns behind. And when those patterns break abruptly, investigators take notice. Physically, Denise was petite, standing around 5'2" and weighing approximately 100 pounds. She had brown hair, brown eyes, and was known for wearing large framed glasses. A small mole on the back of her neck was a distinguishing feature. On the day she was last seen, she was reportedly wearing a rust-colored corduroy jacket, blue jeans, and sneakers, casual clothing that suggests an ordinary day, not preparation for a long journey. She also smoked cigarettes, a detail that may seem minor but often becomes relevant in missing persons investigations, especially when considering routines, errands, or brief trips outside the home. Everything about Denise's life pointed toward continuity. And then, continuity stopped. To understand this case, you have to understand the time it occurred in. San Francisco in early 1980 was not the city of digital footprints we know today. There were no cell phones, no GPS, no instant transaction records, no security cameras on every corner. If someone stepped outside for 10 minutes, there might be no record of it at all. Missing persons investigations relied heavily on witness memory, physical canvassing, phone records that were limited in scope, and whatever routines could be reconstructed from the person's daily life. That means timing was critical. And in Denise's case, the window of disappearance was frighteningly small. Denise was last seen on Saturday, February 9, 1980, in San Francisco. What is known with certainty comes not from where she went, but from what she left behind. Her apartment, located near Lake Street and 22nd Avenue, was later found unlocked. The lights were on, her purse and money were still inside. There were no signs of forced entry. No signs of a struggle. These details form the backbone of the case. An unlocked door and illuminated apartment often suggest that someone expected to return shortly. Many people do not lock up or turn off lights if they believe they will only be gone a moment. Leaving behind a purse and money strengthens that interpretation. Those are items people usually take with them unless the departure is brief or unexpected. It suggests Denise did not plan to be gone long, and yet she never came back. One of the earliest red flags in Denise's disappearance was her failure to show up for work. She was both a student and an employee at the University of San Francisco. When she did not appear as expected and did not notify anyone in advance, concern grew. This is a critical point in missing persons cases. People who intend to leave voluntarily often prepare. They inform employers. They make arrangements. They gather essentials. Denise did none of those things, at least not in any verifiable way. Which is why what happened next stands out so sharply. 3 days after Denise was last seen, a phone call was received at the University of San Francisco. The caller claimed to be Denise. The message was simple. She was taking a leave of absence, and then nothing. No further contact, no confirmation, no explanation. To this day, it remains unclear whether that call truly came from Denise. This single moment reshaped the case. If it was Denise, then she was alive on February 12th, but that raises difficult questions. Why call the university and not family? Why not retrieve personal belongings? Why vanish completely afterward? If it was not Denise, then the call may have been an attempt to create distance, to suggest a voluntary absence and delay concern. And if investigators could not confirm the caller's identity, then the phone call becomes something else entirely, a question mark that never resolves. In cold cases, uncertainty like this is often the most haunting element. When evidence is limited, investigators are forced to evaluate scenarios rather than conclusions. A voluntary departure is one possibility, but it conflicts with several known facts. Money left behind, missed work, lack of preparation, and no confirmed follow-up contact. An accident is another possibility, but in a dense urban environment, accidents that result in permanent disappearance without discovery are statistically uncommon, though not impossible. Outside involvement is often considered in cases where a person appears to leave suddenly, without essentials, and without signs of struggle. Coercion does not always look dramatic. It can involve trust, urgency, or deception. And sometimes, the truth lies in a scenario that no one thought to document, a moment that passed unrecorded because it looked ordinary at the time. That is the challenge of this case. Denise Holly Dorfman is classified as endangered missing. Her disappearance is unresolved. There has been no public resolution, no confirmed sightings, no closure. Cold cases like this do not fade because they are solved. They fade because time passes, and yet, time does not erase memory. Someone remembers Denise. Someone remembers a conversation. Someone remembers seeing her that weekend, or someone she was with. Missing persons cases are not solved by theories alone. They are solved when one overlooked detail finally finds the right listener. Denise Holly Dorfman disappeared from San Francisco, California, on February 9, 1980. Her case remains an unsolved missing persons cold case. If you have information, even something that seems insignificant, it could matter. A memory, a name, a moment that never made sense. Awareness keeps cases alive.
Thank you for watching Fatal Secrets of True Crime, Real Crimes, Hidden Truths, and the Secrets They Tried to Bury. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Your support helps keep these stories alive and the pressure on for answers. Till next time, remember, every secret eventually comes to light.